You know, that's a very good question. What is the more important? Is it the body or the soul? So we first have to understand, why did God create this world? See, when God created this world, He created it with a purpose, with a reason. God didn't just go and say, okay, here's a world and I'm going to create people. There was a plan. What was the godly plan that God had when He made this world? So as we learn in our Holy Torah, that the whole purpose of God creating this physical world was to make Himself hidden. In other words, God is in everything, but then create a being that is like Him. What does it mean, like Him? In an image of God. That just like a tree has no free choice, a plum tree can't start growing oranges, and an apple tree can't start growing pineapple. A horse can all of a sudden can't start being a cat. Everything is exactly the way they are. A human being, on the other hand, has free choice. And we're able to make a free choice, to be able to discover right from wrong, the godly in everything, and use it in the most beautiful fashion. So when God created this world, He basically, this was His plan. I'm making a world, I'm going to create human beings that can make this world gorgeous, fantastic, better than I made it, and make me feel at home. Or, simple, we're just living our lives meaninglessly. And of course, that is the reason. God wants you and I to make this world that God can feel at home. Real simple. You come into a synagogue. It's a regular tables, regular chairs, regular ark made out of wood, but there's a vibe here. You can feel warm. You can feel the presence of God. You can go into another home, and there's wooden things there, there's chairs there, there's tables there, but they're playing poker and they're cursing. You don't have the same vibe. In other words, you're not creating the area to be a place where God can feel welcomed at home. So now God gave Adam and Eve, the first human beings, and you and I, a physical body. Inside this physical body are a lot of desires. Whoa, you and I know it. We love food, we love drinking, we love physical pleasure. Why not? That is exactly how God made us. It's normal to have that. In fact, God created us with two souls, not one, but two. One soul feeds the physical life that I am. It tells me I'm hungry. It tells me when I want to have physical pleasure. And then there's another part of me, there's literally a piece of God that gives me my conscience, that works with me, if I want to listen to it, that all of my physical pleasures that I have should be for a holy purpose. For example, we all love eating chicken. We all love eating, for those that eat chicken, we all love eating soup and fish, whatever it is. Some people eat it as a glutton. Other people eat it normally. But did you know there's a way to have a holy way of eating? Is that I'm only eating for a special, for God. For example, a Friday night meal, a Shabbos meal. Every time you sit down and you eat the food, you're doing a mitzvah. That's why the table feels, it's not like a Tuesday night table. We're not talking politics. We're not fighting with each other. This is a family get-together. We're telling stories. We're talking to the children. It's a holy night. You can feel the presence of God. So the reality is, all physical things were made that God should feel at home there. And the soul that I have, the godly soul that I have, is here begging the body, please do it for a holy reason. So there's always the battle, because let's be honest, most of us love listening to the body. Most of us love listening to our impulses. If you didn't have the struggle, should I do it for holiness or should I do it for whatever I want it for, you wouldn't be normal, because that's the way God created you, with two conscience that's constantly battling. But you're a human. You don't have to act like an animal, always say, I want it for me. Comes God and says, choose for a holy purpose. Make this world a holy place. But the question you ask me is, which is greater, the body or the soul? Is the body the main purpose of creation, and the soul is here to help the body? Or is it that the body is just a puppet that does whatever the soul wants, so the soul can get a reward or in heaven? What is it? And this is the difference between Judaism and just about every other religion in the world. We never, as Jewish people, ever say, I can't wait to go to heaven. It's not part of our liturgy. We do say when we die, our soul goes to heaven. It's in a holding pen. But until when? Until the Messiah comes. When the Messiah comes, that is when the resurrection of the dead, of all the holy, good, righteous people, will come back and live in this world again. Where will the ultimate reward be? Will it be in heaven, or will it be down here on earth? And the answer is, of course, down here on earth. You see, when Adam and Eve were created, they were put into the Garden of Eden with a physical body. If they never sinned, they would have lived forever. There never would have been the concept of death, as it says in the book of Genesis, and they would have basked in God in a physical body. So today we're living post the sin, I get it. But we're working to make this world a beautiful, yummy place for God again. But we're trying to get the body to also become holy. And that is what Judaism is all about. For example, we have special foods. We don't just eat any food. We don't eat pork. We don't eat shellfish. Because this body that I have has to have nutrients of godliness. And God said, these are the divine foods I want you to eat. As it says in Leviticus, God actually says, why shall you eat these foods? You shall be holy, because I am holy. So these are foods that are holy. Shrimp not. It may taste great. I bet you it does. Who cares? I want to have my body as a body for God. So many times it could be a desire. You walk by a McDonald's and like, oh, the cheeseburger, the French fry. I'm sure it smells great to many. Choose God. Eat kosher. Why do I put on the tefillin? The men, they put on the black boxes and they pray in it. It's to make the body holy. So the soul is really here to help the body become a vessel where God shall be. So if you really think about it, the ultimate part of creation, is it my soul or is it my body? And the reality is, my dear friends, when God created the world, He created the world with His will. Now let me explain what this will means. You see, intellect, the brain, has a lot of wisdom. Just like a man, when he produces a child, the DNA, the sperm that comes from the inner intellect inside the brain, because all of the DNA is all put into the child, so too is I have God's DNA. I have that godly spark in me. And that comes from the highest wisdom in a brain, if we can say God has a brain. But a will of a person is higher than understanding. My will is beyond what you can comprehend. So when God gave me a soul, that comes from the inner intellect of God's great wisdom. A wisdom that's beyond you and I can understand, but it's still wisdom. But his will was to create a world and to create these physical bodies, that these bodies shall become so holy that it can dwell in this world where God could rest. Now, many of you may go and say to me, oh, come on, this is kind of ridiculous. Oh, not so fast. How many of you have gone on a trip to Israel and you've walked down the stairs in Jerusalem, and as you were getting closer to the wall, all of a sudden you started feeling something. Your soul inside was turning inside. And the moment you touch the wall, it makes no difference who you are, how observant and non-observant you are. The fact you came to the wall, what happens to you? You get, your body feels like, what is this? And you become so verklempt that you start crying. And so many people, when I take them on tour, they say, Rabbi, what's happening to me? I said, your body is feeling God's presence that is still resting here in Jerusalem. You don't have it that much in Los Angeles. I get it. New York. But it's not so true. But you do feel it in an explosive, concentrated way when you come to Jerusalem, especially when you come to the wall. So, my friends, what are we supposed to do? You and I are supposed to try to get to that, make our lives. It's like all this fighting going on between people doesn't feel godly. It's like separate. It's not what God wants. God wants love. Love somebody like you love yourself. You have your own opinion. They have their opinion. Love them. When two people can get along with separate opinions, God lives between you. When you bring books into your home, what kind of books do you bring in your home? Do you bring books that are going to go and denigrate your nature and the way you are? Or are you going to bring books that will be uplifting your mind with goodness and holiness, etc.? Torah books. Books that are literally written from thousands of years of Jewish brilliance. You know, people say when they walk into my home, they say, Rabbi, you got all these books. I said, yeah. And I'm looking at them, I'm a rabbi, I learn. But they say to me, you can feel a vibration in this room. What vibration? It's just books. No, it's not a library. You can actually feel the holy. There's something different. You know why? Because I've made it a place where God can be. There's nothing interfering, nothing opposite of God. When did you ever feel this? I'll tell you when. Besides when you're at Jerusalem. Many of us are fasting. On Yom Kippur, we are seriously going, I need food, I need food, I need food. A whole day you're thinking about it. All of a sudden, near the end of Yom Kippur, you're looking at your watch, when am I going home? When am I going home? With the cantor, hurry up. But right by the end, the cantor, the chazan goes, Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And the whole congregation, with all their energy that they have, they're screaming Shema Yisrael on top of their lungs. And then Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Elyon Vod 3 times. And then the congregation does it. 2 seconds ago you were worried, my body's hungry. Now you're not even thinking of your body. Your body has become, near the end of Yom Kippur, at the holiest moment, so one with God that you're spiritually connected. You're on top of your energy saying, Hear, O Israel, I love you, God. And the body? Where is it? It's existing, but you don't feel hungry. That is amazing. It's an amazing concept. That we can go and do mitzvah. The word mitzvah does not mean commandment, it means connection. Every single time I do a mitzvah, I connect my physical body to God. So the soul teaches me, encourages me, and gives me the energy to choose right. But it's really the body that God wants to become holy. So this body that we all have is God's will, which is higher than understanding, higher than any wisdom. God's will is, make this body that I can dwell within you. And after you do it with your body, make your home feel godly. And after you do that, make the world around you feel godly. And the moment the Messiah comes, Mashiach comes, all evil will be eradicated. There's not going to be anything interfering with our physical joy in the presence of God that will be more revealed. The world will be like the Garden of Eden, is exactly the way it was for Adam and Eve. But we learned our lesson. We're not going back to the tree and eating from it if God says no. We learned that lesson. Each and every one of us are going to be basking in the greatest concept. Physical world, eating for holy reasons, and feeling God 24/7. My soul, God, is pure. My body has amazing potential. You know, many of us, we go working out to make us physically strong. Maybe we should work out our spiritual gym too. Come to a synagogue, get inspired, feel great, and learn to teach your body how to dwell with God and have a happy, phenomenal Jewish life as God chose for you.